15 days, Hawaii to Tahiti on Oceania Cruise Lines. What did it cost?
Hi, I'm Doug. This is Leah. We are Go Travel Life. We spent a little over 2 weeks on Oceania. We sailed from Hawaii to Tahiti, and we visited several islands along the way.
I'm going to cover our booking choices, all of the fare inclusions, and I will give you a booked fare breakdown. Then we will cover our rebates and credits and boil it all down to a per price, per person, per day.
Lastly, we're going to tell you what we could have done to save some money. If this is a part of the world that you wanted to see, stick around.
So really quick, before we dive into the numbers, I want to share two quick things. One is our philosophy on travel. We are not ultra budget travelers, but we're also not the ones booking the highest end suites. We're kind of in the middle. We love the whole unpack once philosophy of a cruise ship, especially when we're visiting a part of the world where we've never been. It just works for us. And love that all of the inclusions on a cruise for us. So we're mid-range travelers, not on a tight budget, but we're also not blowing the bank. And we will book a suite sometimes if it includes everything that we want it to, such as in the case of this cruise.
Yeah. So what we didn't include in the cost of the cruise was flights, because people come from all over the world to board a ship. We didn't include the cost of the pre and post cruise hotel, because again, those vary greatly. We did not include the cost of port day meals, as if we ate while we were out, it was usually included in our excursion cost.
Correct. Okay, so first up, the booked fare breakdown. So our number for our 15-day cruise was $16,395 for both of us. This was a group cruise. So this is a group cruise rate. There were about 35 of us, I believe, on this particular one. And so the inclusions that came with us, the complimentary Wi-Fi, the prestige beverage package was part of our group cruise rate. So that is a savings of like $2,099. As well, gratuities, prepaid gratuities were included in the fare at $690. So again, our booked fare breakdown, $16,395.
Yeah, and what's normally included in Oceania, since Oceania is considered a luxury cruise line, there are a lot of kind of built-in inclusions with the price of the cruise. So specialty restaurants are included. Now you are limited to a certain amount of guaranteed bookings, but if there's room, you can get in whenever you want, no extra charge. Gratuities are included, basic Wi-Fi is included, sodas, specialty coffees, and teas are included. Sparkling water and still water is included. There's filling stations throughout the ship. They give you a bottle that you can fill up as many times as you want. Juices, smoothies, ice cream are included at no extra cost, plus self-service laundry is included.
Now remember, these particular inclusions were with Oceania at the time. Our trip was in August, September timeframe, and as all cruise lines do, they continue to change things. I know there's some different plans today where you can get other inclusions in your bookings, so just make sure you understand. But this was at the time what was included. Okay, so what I want to cover here really quick, as I mentioned, we booked a suite, we booked a penthouse, and it wasn't just because on an R-class ship they have the bigger bathroom, although that was a nice add. They also have your specialty dining can be taken in your room, and I can't tell you how many times we use that. So we did have reservations at the restaurant, but sometimes, after these long excursions, snorkeling and all that type of thing, it was just so nice to be able to come back and choose something from one of those restaurants. I mean, you could order regular room service as well too, but that was a really nice benefit. It also came with a butler, and Arun, he was fantastic. And
one of the best we've ever had.
Yeah, sometimes you get a good one, and sometimes, you're not getting a whole lot of attention, but I'll tell you what, when he saw us come back tired, he would bring wine to our room or whatever. He was just really attentive, and he made a big difference for us personally. You also get access to this Aquamar terrace, which is kind of the thalassotherapy, which is out back of the ship. We didn't use it as often as I thought we would, but it was still really nice to have access to that. 3 bags of laundry. Again, glad we didn't have to spend a bunch of time doing laundry in the laundry room. It was nice to be able to ship it away. They also gave us 4 pressing items. They left a card for that, and then daily canapes, which is kind of nice because it was a good variety. You picked what you wanted, and you left the card in the room. So that was a nice bonus for us.
So things we had to pay extra for, we paid $748 for excursions that we booked on our own. So the total cost was $17,143. We found one at Volcanoes National Park. There was an awesome 11-hour day with the geologist. The guy was very knowledgeable.
And even lunch at the park itself, like a sit-down table. It was just fantastic.
It was a great value. It was the people that did the ship excursion were eating box lunches in the parking lot. They come up and down,
making faces at us as we went by. So,
but anyway, it was a great day.
Yeah. And
we also did Nuka Hiva. We did that one on our own. And one other thing to mention about Oceania is they give you a 25% discount on excursions if you book 5. So we did book 5, and it was quite a savings. So
yeah, credits and rebates. This is the fun stuff. So we had a total of $1,600 in onboard credit. We had booking OBC of $250. We had a shore excursion group credit of $800, which was really nice. There were some itinerary changes. One was like an overnight cancellation, or became an overnight. We're supposed to go to 2 different ports that people were pretty unhappy about. So we did get a make it right gift of $300. And then shareholder credit was $250 for this one. Just a quick note, and those of you shareholders, you probably already know this, but if your cruise is from 1 to 14 days, you only get $100. But if it's 15 or more, you get $250. So this one just happens to cross that line to get us the $250. And again, a total of $1,600 in credit.
Nice. If you're enjoying this content, we would sure appreciate it if you would hit the subscribe button and also the like button. I'm also going to put up a QR code so that if you're watching on your TV and you want to stay sitting on a couch, you can use your phone and subscribe that way, or subscribe whatever way you feel best. But just please subscribe.
All right, and we'll go on now to the net effective. So net effective cost of this cruise. So with our base fare at $16,395 plus the $748 in excursions minus the $1,600 in OBC, the effective cost of this cruise was $15,543, which equates to about $1,036 per day for the both of us.
Yeah. So, could we have spent less? Well, at the time that we booked, our travel agent gave us prices for both a balcony and an ocean view, and we'll tell you what those were. The balcony cabin with the same inclusions was $12,598 or $839 per day. The ocean view cabin was $8,598 or $574 per day.
So I did take a quick peek just a little bit ago at an inside cabin for the October sailing that goes from Honolulu to Papeete, and right now they're advertising inside cabins for the same price as that ocean view, so the $4,299. And I'll also add it's waitlisted. So I'm not sure you can do it for a whole lot less than what we did unless you just travel differently.
Yeah.
So and by the way, we did not spend anything extra on board.
No,
we zeroed out our onboard credit. We spent our onboard credit, but we did not spend a dime additionally.
Yeah.
So that worked out. But
so would you do it again?
Oh yeah, I would do it again. One of the most beautiful places in the world that we've ever been.
Yeah.
But also it's expensive. It's expensive. I mean, I know there's probably some hidden secrets on budget stuff we could do, but we got to swim with sharks, whales, and even the beginning of the trip, just going around to some of the Hawaii islands and seeing things. And,
yeah, that was awesome. Look, the Volcano National Park was a great day.
And then 4 days later, you're in like this whole second paradise, which has its own views and all that type of thing. Was amazing. So if you actually want to see that trip, we'll tee up the boarding Oceania in Honolulu, and it covers the Hawaii Islands portion, and there's a playlist to go through the rest of them if you want to actually see the trip and see if something that you would like to do. But
we would definitely recommend it though.
Yeah, thanks for watching.